now going to talk about striking practice and give you a few drills to practice at home. Importantly for me, I think the one thing that I never see taught is what I'd say is, I'm going to call this safety first. I've been training in martial arts a long time, and I'm sure you watching this have been training many years too. Everyone talks about knocking people out. Everyone talks about developing power and everything else. Very few people know what to do next. And this is what we're going to talk about now. I think it's vitally important. In fact, I'm going to be quite controversial here to say, if you're a martial artist, you should know how to deal with an unconscious casualty, whether it be in the dojo, whether it be in the street, or even your friend. If you're at home now, what I'd just like you to do is hold your breath now. I'm going to ask Carl to come up. Carl, would you just like to stand there for me? And hold your breath. I took a deep breath in. Hold it. And just, we'll see how long Carl can last without actually breathing. As you notice now, it's starting to show a few signs of stress. Okay, Carl, how long would you say you held your breath for without taking a deep breath in?
About 25 seconds.
About 25 seconds. Now, if we say that you're maybe under a bit of stress, would you say it'd be higher or lower? Because you took a bit of a deep breath in first.
Probably lower.
Probably lower.
Big panic.
Okay. This is what happens when you knock someone unconscious. I'm just going to do a typical strike here that most people in martial arts knows, but being me, I'm not going to do it because I believe that this area here is a very small area. It's only musculature, and within it you have the carotid arteries, your nerves, and the carotid cluster. These are very, very, I think, quite fragile things. I think it's reckless to hit here, and there's no need to hit here. So I'm going to demonstrate that I hit here. Carl's going to fall down to the ground for me and just pretend to be out, Carl. I have no need to demonstrate that I'm going to knock Carl out. Now, lots of people immediately come rushing over, pull the person up and start slapping on the back and doing all this thing. What happens when someone becomes unconscious or knocks out is the head hits the ground first and their airway becomes compromised or closed. And as I said, I'm going to be controversial now. This is what you do. Very simply, we need to open and maintain his airway. So we come over to one side of the body, we bring the hand over, rest it here, we bring the leg up, and that just pulls it over. You don't have to worry too much about this arm, that'll take care of itself. The knee up, and we open up the head. Because what happens when someone becomes properly unconscious, they lose control of their body systems, and one of the responses of the autonomic nervous system is to evacuate the stomach. Vomit will come up and it will come out. And in his own time, Carl will come round. If he doesn't come round, he's in a position, the airway's protected, there's a good stable here, which means one lung is open, there's no pressure on it, and he can breathe easily. And of course then you monitor them. If Carl just sits up for me to here, if I suddenly throw his things forward and someone comes rushing around, this airway's blocked. And this is not what we want. And we can be stroking up. I'm not disputing the fact that there are energy levels and meridians in the body at all. What I am disputing is that fundamentally, our first thing as martial artists, if we're going to learn how to strike or knock someone out, we should know what to do first. And the thing is, if someone is knocked out, then they've had a head injury and they need to go to hospital. The brain is a very fragile instrument. I think this is a very important point. And that's my stall on this one. Safety first. So we teach this in all our schools. I suggest to you that if you want to develop the power to render someone unconscious or out, you at the very least know the skills, to know the priorities of ensuring someone has an open airway and is in a safe position to recover. We're now going to demonstrate the recovery position from a different angle. Very simple. You come in, arm up, hand over, hands kept here to protect the face, outer legs lift up, and it takes no pressure just to bring them over to here. Bring them in, and here we just need to pop the head back to make sure, and we position ourselves here so we monitor and watch what's going on. If he's unconscious, he will come round. If he hasn't come round in a short while, then you need to be phoning for an ambulance straight away. You also need to be staying here and watching it. If you're by yourself, you obviously have to go and leave and dial 999. And this is very, very important. If he has just had a light knockout, a bit stunned or whatever, he'll come round by his own time, and you'd be surprised how quickly that happens.